Okay. I think we're both very tired. At least I'm very tired.
I'm very tired of the movies.
You only watched the first one. You didn't even watch the second one. I made myself watch the second one.
Yep.
Which
is
wasn't.
why you're in a worse state than me.
I'm very tired. I didn't even watch it yesterday. We watched 50 Shades Freed.
I believe that's what it's called.
Is that what it's called? You can do the introduction because I'm tired and I don't feel like talking.
So it was Linda's suggestion to do this part of garbage
well,
for this.
For Valentine's Day, I thought it would be...
It's not even Valentine's Day, and it's not romantic at all.
I wasn't going to say romantic. I thought it would just go with the theme.
Which is supposed to be romance, but it's not.
It's not really romance. It's more kinky butt sex.
It's not even that.
No, it's really not. A film that promises me kinky butt sex does not give me kinky butt sex.
Exactly. So it's the end. Thank God it's the end of a trilogy. Although, who knows? They'll probably make more.
Well, there is a book called Grey.
Don't talk to me.
So my history...
Should classify that Linda made me watch... Well, was going to make me watch the other two to watch this one. And I did watch the first one. And I nearly fell asleep several times because it's so boring. And nothing really happens.
Second one's actually a bit easier to watch, but Ren I don't think could keep going. I think he was already stabbed too many times.
Yep. And the last one was just terrible as well. Probably not as terrible, but still pretty terrible.
Yeah, right? Like, comparing that last film to the first one...
The only reason it's better is because it has a plot. It's not a good one, but it has one.
Something...
It has one for about 30 minutes in the entire film, spread out over 2 hours.
Yeah. But that's all the films. That's also all the books.
But that's not even the first one. The first one doesn't have a plot
at
all.
That's, I think, what the problem with the first film I had... I mean, I don't even know why I'm analysing this film because there's really nothing to analyse. But the problem I had was that there was really no story because the first book literally is just about them two doing some kinky stuff. And then her falling in love with him and him being like, no. And then the book ends with her leaving him, which I thought was the most interesting part of the whole story. But then they get back together literally like the next book straight away, so it's kind of redundant. It's like you give them something happens and then you take it away again the next time.
It's written by somebody who is not really an author properly. She's certainly no wordsmith.
Yeah. So the series itself, for those who don't know, I feel like this is a very commonly
pretty redundant to explain most of this. Everybody knows it's a meme all on its own.
It's a fan fiction based upon Twilight. Christian Grey is obviously Edward, Anna is Bella, Jose is Jacob.
It's just a whole... Take it further than that, it's, Twilight's pretty much Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. Very bad.
It just gets worse every time.
Yeah, it does get pretty bad. But, the first film is, them getting together, and second film is about... I really do not remember. I think Anna, moves to the city. She gets a job as a editor's assistant.
So you've got one character, Anna, who's a nothing, and you've got Christian, who's a rich nothing, and they both bond over their nothingness. Only he likes to display his sex toys in a red room and then not use 90% of them.
Yeah.
But he has quite a collection.
Apparently.
He must enjoy looking at them.
A lot. And cleaning them.
He has somebody else cleaning them. He doesn't even clean them.
No. Oh, God, I feel so bad for
And he has a bed in there that doesn't get used.
No, that gets used.
Does it?
Once in the first film. Oh, no, in the second film, if you'd watched the second film.
Sure.
I don't even know if it's the bed they're using or if it's, something else they're using.
That's the other... Lots of it is really badly done as well. It's not just it's not like a film that has no substance, but there's a lot of style. There's not really any style to it.
It's okay. It's passable.
It's very bland.
It's okay. I'd still watch it.
For a film that is supposed to be really, based on a book that's apparently really explicit.
It's not very explicit.
It's very tame.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't even. Is it rated M or R?
MA here.
Oh, really?
I imagine it'd be R-rated over in America, though.
Dude, there's some Game of Thrones episodes more hardcore than that film.
Yes. They're also more interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
Usually Game of Thrones, the sex is either used to disguise the fact that you're hearing exposition or it means something between two characters, but it's never just there for... this part
Here's
of the movie.
Here's a sex scene.
This is... You know what's funny? 50 Shades uses the sex scenes the way The Room does. It's like, just basically pad out the timing.
Oh my god. There's a lot of just... I don't know how to describe
sex scenes
it.
in The Room are more interesting because they're directed by a madman.
This is just directed by a normal man.
This is directed by a director for hire, probably.
The sex scenes are very, like...
boring.
Right, I'm trying to find the right word to describe them.
I found it really quickly.
Unnatural, like, like certain scenes, I'm like, that would never be able to happen in real life.
That's pretty common in movies.
That's true.
Right? It's just that they're not interesting at all.
It's very boring.
And they're very boring, and the whole movie's bland. It feels colourless to me, but not like... Because black and white movies can at least look interesting.
I'm still trying... Oh, no. I remember what happens in the second film. I was, like, trying so hard to remember. I was like, I'm really tired, guys. I'm so sorry. I feel like I've been hit by a bus this week. Also, we're filming this a bit more ahead of time than we normally are.
Yep.
We filmed this, like, literally the week after we filmed our first episode because I'm going away.
Mm-hmm. Which is pretty much why we saw this film, because otherwise we probably would have saw something else.
Oh, no, I said I wanted to do it for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, no, but I would have put my foot down.
Yeah, probably. But please.
I would have said, let's go see Black Panther, and then go, it was okay.
Yeah, well, Marvel, we know how we feel about
I know how Black Panther's going to be. It's going to be okay.
It's going to be good. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to forget about it after I've seen it.
So the book... Okay, so I'm going to go through each book because... I haven't read I've read the first book. When I say I've read the first book, I mean I read the first 2 chapters and then got bored and skipped to chapter 10 where the sex scenes start. And then I
heard people quoted at me.
I could not read the second and third book, but I'll go through all the movies as well. What happens? So the first book / movie, she meets Christian Grey. He's like hardcore, super hardcore millionaire CEO.
Anyway, let's continue.
The first film, Anna meets Christian. He's super hot and dreamy. He's really rich.
I have no real judgment as far as Christian goes. He looks like a normal person. But I don't... Like, she's not ugly.
Yeah. We discussed this.
But I think we did discuss this. She's not supposed to be, like, really attractive.
She has no chemistry with him. And that's
Neither of them have any... And like, this is some, like... I've seen Jamie Dornan act in other things, and he's pretty good. Jamie
Dornan's a freaking slice. You know how I feel about him. He's a beautiful human being.
He looks a lot like Kenji, in my opinion.
Oh my god! Stop! That's what everyone says. Every time I'm like, he's beautiful. They're like, he kind of looks like Kenji. I'm like, fuck off.
Looks like the intern.
My boyfriend's the intern. He hasn't been around for the past few weeks. Or the past week. Feels like an eternity. I miss him. No one's here to get me my coffee. So that's the first film. They do some, like, he tries to get it, like, I think the first book is literally, like, her, well, from what I can see, writing it, just being like, this is just for my own fantasy. I don't care about anything else. And then the second and third book, like, so what happens in the second book is that, like, they break up at the end of first, get back together. I think this was some form of, like, conflict, just not very good.
All the conflict feels forced. Like, it's not real.
It's fixed instantly. It's always fixed.
It's either fixed instantly or it comes up out of nowhere. And you're like,
yeah. You're like, okay.
And then, or it's really obvious. It's like, of course they're having problems. They have nothing in common.
Yeah. So second film, like, they are back together and he's all like, I'm willing to change. Mm-hmm. And then Anna's getting stalked by one of his ex, like, girlfriends. And then Jack Hyde, who's, like, her boss, is, like, trying to assault her. And then, like, Christian, because he's super rich, like, gets him fired. And Jack Hyde's all pissy. And then, like, the stalker girl, like, is like having a breakdown, and that's why she's. It's all like, you know what? It's the idea for it is very good in my mind. Like, no, I mean, it's not amazing, but I feel like if it was well done in a certain extent, I would actually watch it.
There are erotic thrillers out there that work.
Yeah, right? Like, I'd be into it, but it just...
But they're not as bad as this. Like, they're not bad. This is all... It's just bad on every level.
Well, the problem is, when I watched the second film, it was literally right off the back of the first film, and the first film was really bad, because the acting was really awkward. I think I could clearly see which scenes were filmed more towards the beginning of the filming, like when it started filming, and which ones were filmed more towards the end of the production, just because at the end they were probably more comfortable with each other, and like...
Sure.
You know, but I could tell. Whereas the second film, there's a bit more, and Anna, I don't think, is as much of an idiot.
I think in the first film they were ashamed of doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like, they're ashamed of the film. I don't think even, like, the director or, like, writers, I think they were just doing it for the money. Like, because the first director does not direct the other two.
No. But, like, the second film, it was a lot more comfortable, and there were things that was, like, the way the acting was, I was a lot more like, this seems a lot more natural. I mean, it's not great.
See, my thing is, like, sure, I reckon, because I haven't seen the second film, but seeing the third film, like, their performances got better.
Yeah.
Their characters still don't make any sense.
No.
But, like, they just look more comfortable on screen
exactly.
as actors. I think it's just...
I think they just kind of accepted their fate.
I think it was, like, Jamie Dornan had been in a few things, but nothing, like, on this scale in terms of the sort of audience it was going to draw.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Can we just talk about... Okay, so let's talk about the third film, and then we can talk about the audience members. So the third film pretty much is, like, they get married, you know, after everything that happened. I swear to God, it's been, like, a year since... Not even a year since she met him.
Can I tell you, it's really funny seeing that wedding scene after you've only watched the first film.
Yeah, you're like, huh?
That's just like, wow, this doesn't feel like complete bullshit already.
Yeah. They get married, they're all happy, and then all of a sudden, like, Jack Hyde's once again kicking up all this shit, and what happens really, like, there's...
I remember there was that brief moment where he it's obviously somebody from our past. Like, I didn't even need to know who he was or what he'd done. I knew exactly it was, like, somebody that had like a thing in the second film was coming back to haunt them again. And it's like a scene where they don't show his face, and it's just like some guy walking around Grey Industries. Yeah. Grey Enterprises.
I don't know.
I remember because I laughed.
Grey building.
It said Grey Enterprise, and I was like, Wayne Enterprises. You just see a guy, like, either on the security cameras or, like, in reflection or, like,
I don't understand how he got in, because they gave him a visitor's card, and then he just, like...
It's like, do they not know who he is?
Yeah, I'm like...
But then... And then he plants, like, a thing.
Yeah, and
you know what's worse? The reason why it doesn't have any impact is you don't see what it does. You just hear about it later. You just hear, there was a fire in the thing. And you're like, oh. And they're, like, really panicking. I'm like, so what?
Yeah.
And what's... Whereas, like, then you don't hear about that for another half an hour.
Yeah. Well, what's happening? Because I think she's just...
She's started...
They have some sex here and there. That's the thing. I feel like the plot, well, however thin it may be, is constantly forgotten because they have these huge sex scenes, which are not very...
Like their sex scenes interrupted by the plot.
Yeah, like, that's what it is.
And it's inconvenient.
Yeah, it's not... I mean, the only time a sex scene that felt appropriate for me was, like, when she's, like, trying to drive away from that car, and then she stops, and then obviously because there's, like, adrenaline, she all of a sudden just, like, has sex with him, and I'm like, okay, I mean,
and then I instantly went, she's going to get pregnant. Yeah. In, like, the previous scene, they had to talk about how he doesn't want kids yet.
And then she gets pregnant. I already knew she was going to get pregnant because I already read the summary up on YouTube. I mean, on Google.
I didn't need to. I don't know why you even need to. Everything
well,
is
this
obvious.
was before the movie came out, and I didn't know what happened in the second book, so I had to read what happens in the second book.
I didn't know anything until when I sat down.
I can't extrapolate like you can, but it's clear.
It's like the second time we see the woman who hates Anastasia for taking the job, and she doesn't think she deserves it. The second scene that she's in.
Oh, well, she's so fucking awkward. So she's kind of.
I mean, it doesn't help because, like, it looks like she's had about 5,000 Botox injections into her face, and her face is just weird. Yeah, it doesn't emote properly anymore, and
doesn't do the emoting.
And then she's just awkward and she's, like, asking questions about. It's like, oh, she's involved.
Yeah,
like, she's gonna be a secret double agent.
Double agent.
But a lot less interesting.
Yeah. I mean, during that very end where Anna has to take like the $5 million and stuff, I was kind of like,
shit.
Well, I was like, I'm kind of getting like kind of into it. I mean, I was like, okay, is someone gonna? But then like he kicks her and she doesn't have a miscarriage.
So
that was bullshit. Like, not saying
in the whole film.
Not saying I want her to have a miscarriage, but I'm like, if you were like 7 weeks along,
and somebody kicked you in the stomach,
because he wasn't just kicking her, he like kicked her. You know, well, he was supposed to kick because he kicked her so hard she passed out.
No. So what happened is. This is why I was laughing, because the following scene makes that scene funnier, because he goes Jack Wade. Fuck, I don't know.
Hyde.
Jack Wade is the guy from James Bond.
Yeah, Hyde.
Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde. He goes up to her because he's a psychopath and he's got Rita Ora tied up behind him. I didn't understand that she was supposed to be
Christian sister
for ages. Just like I didn't understand the brother was his brother in the first film until he turned up at the dinner table and I went, why is he there? And then he turns to the father and goes, Dad, and I'm like, fuck is this? And then it was so badly done that I didn't understand how anybody related to anybody. But anyway.
You gotta read the books, Ran.
No.
I only knew because they were like, Elliot's the brother, and I was like, oh, okay. And then there's like, this is Elliot, and I'm like, oh, the brother.
So anyway. She's the whole ending of the climax of the Freed
climax.
Yeah, funny. Whole climax of it is he kidnaps Christian's sister and then takes her somewhere, and then he wants $5 million, which is a very small amount of money considering how much he probably could have gotten. But anyway, Anastasia goes and gets it from the bank, annoying scene which goes on forever.
The most impossible circumstances. Like, she literally just turns up with these 2 leather bags. I want $5 million. Here's a check. And then the guy's like, let me just call Christian. Calls him, and Christian's like, just give her whatever she wants. And then he takes out the $5 million, and I'm like,
she's in trouble. I need to go help.
And I'm like, any reasonable bank would not just let you take $5 million.
What I think's funny as well is it's like she looks out the window and sees her security guard turn up, who's like supposed to be there, and he can obviously see her through the glass, and he doesn't do anything.
He's just he even makes eye contact with her, and he's just like,
and he's like looking, and then he just looks to the left again, and then he's just standing there, and then it's not until she gets out the back, gets in the car with Betrayer Lady, and drives off, that he's actually turns up trying to do something.
Yeah, it's really
contrived. Yeah. But anyway, so she goes to the thing with the $5 million in the bag. She's going to give it to Jekyll, and
Jekyll. Just call him Jekyll and Hyde.
Last name's Hyde. And she's bought a gun that Christian had in his apartment, in his desk with her, and she's hidden it in her back pocket. And this idiot doesn't check, and then he slaps her twice in the face, and then kicks her in the stomach, and then she sits up. And I think what they were trying to go for was like a kick-ass one-liner before she shoots him, but I can't remember what she says. It was
something?
really badly delivered. She said something, and it was shot like, this is going to be awesome.
I don't remember her saying it. I remember her pointing the gun and shooting.
She says something, and then she shoots him and he falls over. And then Christian turns up, and they take her to the hospital, and the funniest thing about that is, like, she's got, like, a little bit of blood in the corner of her mouth when she's there on the ground. Next scene, it cuts to her in a hospital bed, and they're pulling, like, running down the hallway like it's an emergency. She's got, like, blood on her head, like, pouring down, like she's
maybe she hit her head when she fell, and we just didn't see it. I don't know.
It did not happen.
The only part that made sense was when he was...
And she's in, like, a coma for a day.
Oh, yeah, she's, like, passed out. I was like, damn, girl. Because I understand when Christian was like, be careful, she's pregnant. That makes sense.
I know, but it was just so...
Everything else is just redundant.
Like, fair enough, she gets kicked in the stomach, she passes out, but then they had to add the makeup of, like, a bleeding head and everything.
They put, like, a little... bandage on like
her head, stuff like that.
I'm like, when did she hit her? I mean, I'd understand if like he had like pushed her head into the ground or something, or like
punched her full on, like, but he kind of just slaps her around a bit, and it's
not even he slaps her twice.
He slaps her twice and she falls out. But the problem is I think as well is there was probably a more impactful way to shoot that, like to make it look like it really connected and hurt, but because they cut around, because obviously they don't know how to do stunts or anything.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, we watched a video. You showed me that video about, like, when you cut away during certain...
Yeah, so Americans, when the impact hits, they cut because they don't actually make impact.
No.
And it's like in, like, China, They just kick the shit out of each other.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why...
So, you know why in China? Awesome. People are expendable.
That's what happens when there's a billion of them.
Yeah, no shit. I'm Chinese, by the way. Like, I get it, guys. It's cool. Not racist.
I'm not, but it's true.
Like...
yeah, so...
Yes, that's what happens. She has a baby.
She has a baby who's still alive somehow. And, yeah.
Cuts to, like... 2 years or whatever
to, like, a time period later, and then they go back to her kneeling in the doorway of the red room waiting for him, and then it cuts to the end. Like, he closes the door and then credits.
Oh no, there's that huge montage of like all three movies.
Like, we fondly remember them.
I'm just like, and she's
and the start of this one.
Yeah. Well, look, actually, like, I understand that type of scene because I think I've seen something like that in, like, movies where, like, they go back and they look from, like, how it happened.
I'm sure that's fine. Like, they do that.
And, like, I understand the idea of it because, like, Anna's standing there just, like, looking at him, like...
You wouldn't usually do that in a movie series. It's so bad. And it has so little, like, emotional impact.
It's not bad, Red. Did you see how many women went and saw that film yesterday?
That's how I measure how terrible it is.
There were so many girls, and every time Christian or Anna made, like, a somehow sassy line, you could hear all of them going, ah! It was amazing.
I laughed, actually. The moment that I laughed had nothing to do with the film. It was when she got slapped.
Yeah.
Somebody behind me, like, audibly went,
No, I know, I did hear that.
And I thought it was hilarious because I was nearly laughing at the slap and how badly it was done.
Yeah.
And how fake it looked.
I feel kind of bad for whoever was sitting in front of us and behind us because the whole time I was literally slagging the whole, like, film off, and I was like...
All we could do was make jokes.
Yeah, and then I'm really sure someone heard, because I heard, like, people kind of being a bit disgruntled at us, but I'm like there's a scene where they're having sex, and I'm like, that's not how it works, man. Is this how it works? Fuck, I've been doing it wrong then, apparently. Like, you know... You don't even have to prepare yourself. You just right in. Yeah, like it's...
No, he's just that good.
Yeah, I know.
He's just that good. No, the more disturbing one was the man who walked in who looks like he drives a truck.
Oh, yeah, the one with
and
the hat.
He sat, like, down the front with a thing of popcorn and a drink.
Yeah, he was on his own, and he was, like 2-3s well ahead of everyone at the very...
He must have been in, like, his 50s.
Yeah. It was weird.
It was weird.
I mean, like, look, you're into
like
whatever
fine,
you're into.
But this is weird.
Yeah, it's weird. There were so many mums and daughters, like middle-aged mums and so many. And then, like, there were some old grandmas as well.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, can your heart take this without having a heart attack? You probably can. That's because the sex is that vanilla.
Like nothing.
It's that vanilla. You don't even see penis.
Racy. That's probably pretty racy for a grandmother.
You don't even see penis.
We didn't have that.
I was like, where's the peen? It's a bit of boobs.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's not... It's very vanilla. Like, for what it's supposed to be, I'm like,
They used to make much
I've seen
more.
Simpsons episodes racier than this, you know?
It's funny, because I can mention an erotic film that came out in the last 2 years.
Just watch Secretary. It's a way better film.
Yes, watch that, but also watch The Handmaiden.
Oh, yeah.
South Korean movie. That is amazing. And not really for this... I mean, it's all... Sex is like a main theme of the whole film, but it doesn't feel like it's just put in there to get an audience.
Yeah,
it's the whole point of like a whole section of the story.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just an impressive movie. Like, you know how that's why I say this film is so bland to look at, because The Handmaiden is so like well shot. They shoot the shit out of everything. I think you
did show me the trailer. It looked really interesting.
It's amazing.
I should go see it.
I've seen it 3 times. It's on Netflix.
Oh, really? I'll download it and I'll watch it from my flight.
Yeah. It's a guy who did Old Boy.
Ooh.
Directed.
Ooh. Oh, that means it's going to be fucked up.
Oh, it gets really fucked up in the last, like... Because it's told in 3 parts. So you get part 1 is told from the handmaiden's perspective.
Oh, you're telling me this.
Part 2 is from other people's perspective. And then the third one is like the reveal of everything.
Don't ruin it for me.
It's so good.
I really would like to watch it.
And it does... It does more than 50 Shades does in 3 movies in 1 movie.
You know, I was saying to a few of my friends, I'm pretty sure if you gave me a copy of 50 Shades, all 3,
You could cut it down to one film.
I could cut it down to one film, and it would be a decent watchable film. Yep. I could just cut out all the really awkward bits, and it would literally be an hour and a half long film. It'd have all the kind of kinky sex scenes.
A couple of them.
Yeah, like the one or the two that's in every film. And it would have Anastasia Steele not pissing me off all the effing time. Because, like, it's really weird because the first film she's really like, oh my God, I'm so shy. I don't know what to do. Yeah, I can't take this.
I'm going to fall through this door because it's so heavy.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm such a good girl. And then the second and third film, she's like, really, like, especially the third film, she was extremely aggressive. She's like, you can call me Mrs. Grey. And I'm like, I know this is supposed to be like plot development, but I'm really confused on how someone can just be like, you know, like literally the first film she like throws up after drinking like 2 pints of beer or something like that, and I'm like, girl, hold your fucking liquor, fuck off. She's literally just like, ugh. And then she's like, I'm gonna pass out, and then she passes out, and I'm just like, the fuck is this? Look.
Also, the worst you can do is 6 smacks on the arm.
Sorry?
The worst he can do is hitting her 6 times on the ass.
Oh, yeah, like, he, like, belts her 6 times, and she's like, you never touch me like that again. And I'm like,
I know. Remember when I was talking?
Oh, honey, that's too much.
Remember, like, the previous scene about halfway through the film when they're discussing the contract, and she's just like, strike anal fisting off the thing. I'm like, surely that's worse.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
It's like, what's a butt plug?
They use
That's the line of the movie, of the first movie. It's the best line in the whole movie.
What's a butt plug?
Because she sounds like a moron when she said, like, her delivery.
She is a moron.
I mean, she is a moron, but
in
that's the line where it really comes across.
What's the line for the second or I mean, you haven't watched the second film.
Third film, I don't know. I can't remember any of the lines.
Neither can I. It's just a blur.
It's not memorable at all.
No.
I love how, you know, so there's a whole subplot thing about how Elliot might be cheating on...
Oh, yeah, that was confusing.
On her best friend for the architect.
Yeah.
And then that resolves itself by him marrying her, and then it never comes up again.
No, well, the thing is, Anna sees him with another girl, like the architect.
The architect.
And he, like, hugs her, and she's like, oh, my God, they're cheating on each other. And then he asks her to marry him, like, her best friend.
Christian even says he's, like, screws everybody.
Yeah. So then, but then Anna never goes, oh. Like, obviously, we know for a fact that they were obviously choosing jewelry because they came out of a jewelry store. But then I'm like, but surely Anna...
Surely he still did, though.
Yeah, like, I'm like... I'm like a little confused on what Anna was just like, oh, I guess I was wrong then. Or didn't even mention it to anyone. It was just like something that happened, and you're like...
Why was he buying jewellery with her?
Because he needed her opinion. I don't know.
Why, though?
Can I steal a slice?
Yeah, okay. That was so dumb.
Ren, this whole film is dumb.
I know, but
you know, these are your expectations right now. You need to bring them way down.
No, they need to up their game on their weird porno.
Weird porno.
I feel like they thought about it less than like a company.
I feel like they should have gotten a porn director.
And an actual company that makes just to make the film. It'd make more sense.
Oh.
Make more money, probably. Be cheaper.
I'll go watch that.
It could be cheaper.
They'd have to have like... They'd have to clean out that cinema so well afterwards. They would!
The first time you see one of those... the cinema cleaners with a hose.
Just like, fuck my life.
Just walking into the cinema. Excuse me, guys.
No, he like pulls on a rubber glove. He's like,
I'll be ready in 3 hours, guys.
Yeah.
There's all these popcorn containers with holes in the bottom.
Why? Oh, wasn't it this movie guy? Like, he worked as a movie cleaner. After the first film, he saw like he found like 3 cucumbers or something. I don't know.
Oh dear.
I was like, no way. Possibly.
They're all mums are making salad. It's fine. It's all good. Was it nothing weird?
No, nothing weird.
Like cucumbers, that doesn't last.
I mean, anything's a dildo if you're brave enough.
I believe Abraham Lincoln said that. That's a pretty common meme. Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough. Abraham Lincoln.
Really?
He didn't actually say it. It's just an internet thing. It's like, you know, how you can put any quote on anything and people will just fucking believe you.
Was there anything you liked about the film?
I thought it was funny, but like not. It wasn't supposed to be. Like I thought it was funny when it was like that. Not that funny, but funny in moments, and it was mostly me making my own fun, like laughing, joking.
We need to do our own commentary to get through a film like that. Like half the time it's me being like, "That's not how a dick moves," but it's fine. It's fine. I'm okay with that.
How do you know you couldn't see it? It's fine. You could have it round the wrong way, upside down. You don't know.
Actually, no. The funniest thing I thought about the film was when they wanted to restrain Jack Hyde. Mm-hmm. And then
and she said we have those.
And there's like, I don't have anything, and he's like, and then she's like, I do.
No, she says we do.
We do. And then they both look at her like, excuse you.
That's probably the only funny line in the whole movie. And I thought it was like the kinky scene, or one of them was when
he like ties
handcuffs out.
Yeah.
And he ties her wrists to her ankles, but then does absolutely nothing else but missionary.
Yeah. It's like anything's kinky as long as you do it in missionary.
No, but it's like, here's the handcuffs. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah, they restrain.
We don't want to scare the mums.
We don't want to give any ladies any heart attacks.
We know there's women who are like 80 in here.
Like, legit, there was. But then it was like all these mums and daughters, and I'm like, why would you want to see this film with your mum?
It's like lots of boyfriends who were dragged there because, oh, fuck.
There was a guy behind us.
Yeah, wasn't he with somebody?
He was with a whole bunch of girls. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
Maybe he's gay. That's a possibility.
Maybe he's really into Jamie Dornan.
That would classify him as gay, I believe.
Or maybe he's really into Dakota Johnson.
I don't know how you could be. Like, she's fine.
I think she's pretty. I think everyone's pretty, though.
I mean, her parents are cool.
Yeah, it's true.
They've been in things. I like Don Johnson in Django Unchained because he's funny and a racist. And he looks like Colonel Sanders in it.
Do you ever feel like she's probably been asked this before? It's like, what's it feel like to have Colonel Sanders as your father? And she's just
it's like he only looks like Colonel Sanders in that movie.
Oh, really?
Because he's like that's kind of the visual gag of his whole character is that he's like works on this plantation and owns I don't know how many slaves, and he's got like white hat, like this white mustache, beard, and white suit, and like the black. Like he looks
like
uncannily like him, and yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's funny.
And then they blow him up, I think. Yeah.
How much time are we on?
Probably about nearly 40 minutes.
Okay, we need to fill in the next 20 minutes with something, because I think there's really nothing else to say.
There's nothing to say about this. It's god-awful.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time, but you probably, if you're into this sort of shit, you probably will. Which is fine.
You know what?
If you're into it, that's fine.
I'm actually open to watching the second or third film, maybe again, if it's like I have to, or it's on like Netflix and I've got really nothing else to watch or something.
I'll watch something more.
Like if it's one of those
stuff on Netflix.
I think the first one was like a definite, I would never really touch this with a 10-foot pole ever again. But the second and third film, I can stomach it. I can stomach it, and I will.
So, but like your recommendation is, or like your review is like, I can stomach it.
Yeah.
That's like a really shit meal that isn't like the worst thing you've ever eaten,
yeah.
But it's like, oh well, if I absolutely had to.
Yeah.
The difference is that you don't have to watch any film.
Yeah, but what happens if I'm bored and I like Jamie Dornan?
Find something else. Watch The Fall.
He's not naked. Is he naked in The Fall?
He's probably about as naked as he is in this.
Okay. He's always wearing those pants, and it really weirds me out.
He's much better in The Fall,
right.
But he's just as much of a serial killer. In fact, he actually is a serial killer in The Fall.
I'm into that.
Which is
that's probably why they hired him.
No, but I think that he did like the first series of The Fall around about the time they cast him, because I think it seemed about, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's
he just like didn't leave his serial killer.
It's just that was what I found weird about it, because when they like announced it, I was going, isn't he in the, or like maybe I was reflecting later, I was like, isn't he the killer in The Fall with Gillian Anderson? I was like, no, he is. And he acts remarkably similar, but it makes sense in The Fall. Because his thing in The Fall is he, like, strangles women to death, and then takes their bodies and, like, poses them naked in, like, somewhere and, like, does their nails, their makeup, all sort of stuff, for, like, his own weird purposes.
It's like Psycho and Patrick Bateman.
I mean, Patrick Bateman's more like Christian Grey.
Yeah, it's true. Oh my god, they're like exactly the same, except take out the murder. But they both love kinky sex. Except Patrick Bateman has kinky sex.
Yeah, he kills the prostitutes. That's pretty... He drops chainsaw on one of them.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. It's not real, though.
Is it?
Exactly.
I loved American Psycho, though.
It's great.
Amazing.
Mainly because Christian Bale. Christian
Bale. Red, I think we need to be clear here. They're two different people, aren't they?
Christian Bale's performance is great.
Yeah. No, I really love him.
I think Willem Dafoe's really underrated in that movie as well. He's the detective who's checking him out, like trying to work out if he's done something. And he acts just weird enough whether you're, like, not quite sure whether he suspects him or not. But yeah.
I'm trying to think. But I don't know.
It's weird because I don't think I've really watched anything else recently because I've been too busy with that shit.
Look.
I want to watch Altered Carbon on Netflix. I don't know
too. Like, I'm a bit... My heart's been burned a little by
You know what it is? I look at it and it looks a lot like Blade Runner. I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, but it looks really actiony and over the top. I'm like, which is not at all Blade Runner.
Well,
so it's probably like much dumber.
I'm looking
obviously.
at it and I'm like, oh, it looks like really dystopian or something like that.
It is.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk
like,
sort of thing.
Yeah, like, and I'm like, oh, I'm into that. And then at the same time, like, I'm like, but it looks kind of, you know,
dumb compared to other things.
And I'm like, it doesn't look like
it looks very action based. That being said, I haven't watched it, so
like it's one of those, you know, when something's a bit too like, they cultivate too much of a certain image, and then you're like, I don't really trust you.
Is it gonna live up to the hype?
Yeah, exactly. So like, one of the things was like, you know, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Yep.
Everyone was like obsessed with it, and then like it didn't live up to the hype, and I was like, I even bought the book. I never read it, but I was like,
I didn't read it, but I watched or listened to some guy like basically go through it, and I thought the plot sounded so fucking stupid that I would almost...
I don't really remember. I don't know what happens, so
it's just time turners all the time.
Oh.
Turn back time for this, that. They go through that. Like, one, it's like almost like shameless fan service to go through like plot points from the previous books, films, whatever. Because they turn back time, I think, that far.
Oh.
They like go through some of the events or something like that. And it's just, it's so stupid, and I don't think it really amounts to much in the end. And
I think if you're going to make a sequel, you should just leave the original books alone.
Just don't. Why do they have to touch Harry Potter? I don't have money.
They're so good.
I mean, like, the films aren't perfect, but they're good enough. And Fantastic Beasts did not improve anything, in my opinion, at all.
I like Fantastic Beats,
yeah. Fantastic Beats and where to find them.
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre's basement.
Literally with all the Chinese workers together, doing 50 cents an hour.
That's what happens when he opens up his suitcase. And he's like, look, there's all Chinese people, and they're just working on the Beats by Dr. Dre.
I like Fantastic Beasts. I'm actually Beasts. I like Fantastic Beasts. I'm excited for this.
What was the plot?
I don't know. He goes to America.
Yep.
With his animals because he's going there to like release the flying hippogriff thing.
Was he actually there to release? I thought he was there to capture more stuff.
No, he went to release.
Why the fuck
Definitely went to release.
He releases stuff.
And then he meets like the smuggle-born, or nomad, as they say in the film, who wants to be a baker.
Oh wait, no, that's not right.
And then at the same time meets that lady from Mystery of Magic, and then all his animals get out because his suitcases get swapped over. Should I continue or?
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
So you're actually refreshing my memory because.
Oh, good. So the next day you swap it, and then when the guy comes home from like the bank from asking for a loan, all the animals escape, and then they go on like this mini journey, and then the lady who's like from the mystery is like, no, can't go anywhere, I have to take you into the mystery, like, or something like that. Then he obviously goes into his like suitcase when they're all asleep, and then he feeds everyone, and then he's like, okay, we have to go catch another animal. Goes out, and then the next day it's like she captures them. The next day she like puts them to mystery magic, and then they're just like, no, he's too dangerous, and then she gets arrested. That part I didn't understand. I'm like, why are you getting arrested, fool? And then he gets out, saves everyone. And then like there's this guy called
Grindelwald.
No, not Grindelwald. The guy who's the Flash.
Yeah, that guy.
I don't know his name. He's like
I know his name's Ezra Miller in real life, but I don't know what his character's name
He's
was.
like a dark magic being, and it starts flying around going crazy. That's the only thing, now that you mention it, there's these
this
two
is
separate...
the problem with it, right?
There's two
is
different...
that it shits all over Harry Potter, in my opinion. Because it creates a whole bunch of stuff that never comes up in Harry Potter, and Harry Potter's sent later.
Maybe.
And it's just really... and everything just resolves itself, like, so easily. I mean, I know it's pretty typical with, like, the Harry Potter, but, like, it felt like they were just using magic this time to just fix things that they didn't know how to fix otherwise.
I'm okay
with
with
like
that.
Levels New York, and it felt like, like, that was because they could with the special effects now. And then, like, fuck. This doesn't work if everybody knows what a wizard is. Because, like, how do you explain Harry Potter? And then they just go...
Rain.
Fixed. And then it's done. And it's like, I saw an announcement the other day that Donnie Yen's going to be in a Sleeping Dogs movie. Sleeping Dogs is a video game. Like a movie out of it. It's like Hong Kong police drama sort of thing. The game's very action-based, which explains why he's in it. I suppose I'll go see that. It's been years since I played the game. It was fun. I don't think I was, like, screaming out for a film, but okay.
I suppose they made, like, a Monopoly game, or, like, film or something like that.
They made a Cluedo film.
Oh, Jesus
called
Christ.
Clue, starring Tim Curry, and amongst others. It's actually pretty good.
Okay.
It's funny.
Oh.
Yeah. They did that. They made Battleship.
Who'd you do that?
Which is crap.
I can imagine.
You know you're in trouble. I think it's like a pretty solid theory that if you're hiring Rihanna to act in your film, it's not a good sign. She's in that, and she's in Valerian. And she's not even, like, in half of Valerian that she's supposed to be in. She's a blob or something? I can't remember.
Like a shapeshifter.
Shapeshifter, yeah. So it's not actually her. It's her voice.
Couldn't
afford it.
Yeah, I was going to say couldn't afford it.
Yeah. It's amazing how we went from a kinky film, to the sexual assault in Hollywood. And then...
What else is coming out? Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow I do want to see. It looks like a proper movie and stuff.
What else? Oh, I still haven't seen I, Tonya.
I'd like to see that. Even though Tonya Harding's a turd of a person, I'd like to see the film. And I mean, everybody knows Black Panther's coming out, and I don't think I'd be bothered.
Infinity War?
Oh, Infinity War.
In
I'll
April?
see that.
Of course
I think
you will.
that'll be the last Marvel thing I watch.
1 and 2, or just...
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Once it's over, and Iron Man and Captain America are dead, and then Bucky takes over as Captain America, and somebody else will take over as Iron Man.
Bucky's going to take over as...
Most likely.
Oh.
And then it's phase 9. I don't know what phase they're in. I suppose this is phase 4 of the Marvel Universe.
I don't know. I don't know how many phases. I don't know how phases work.
So the first phase was like everything before the Avengers and the Avengers. Second phase was like Iron Man 3, Thor 2...
Civil War.
Not Civil War, no.
Winter Soldier?
Yeah, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Maybe. Was Guardians of the Galaxy 1? No. So that was all that. Ant-Man, I think. Then Age of Ultron. No, Ant-Man came after Age of Ultron because he wasn't.
No. Yeah.
Because he's not in Age of Ultron.
No, yeah.
And they had Age of Ultron, then you had, like...
Civil War.
Ant-Man, Civil War...
A.K.A. Avengers 3.
Avengers 3, yeah, pretty much. What the fuck else came? Oh, Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1...
2. 2.
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Some other shit. I don't know.
I think it has... And Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther now.
So it should be the Phase 4, yeah.
Homecoming, Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I don't know. Don't ask me these things,
we got Ant-Man and the Wasp coming.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I saw the trailer and went, it looks like they're fine.
It's fine. It's always just fine.
Looks exactly like Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, all of the other ones. The only ones that stand out to me really anymore are the Winter Soldier and the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Maybe Civil War.
Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3, yeah.
Iron Man 3 is
Avengers 1.
Avengers 1 was amazing. For a short period of time, Avengers 1 was like my favourite film.
It was very good. I don't know whether it's as good now, though. I feel like because it was the first time anybody had really done that, it was like a novelty and it was really cool. And now I think because it's been done another 2 times and they're going to do it again, I think Infinity War looks good. I won't deny that. It looks good.
Oh, dude, Captain America looks fierce with that beard. Like, I'm into it. I'm like, what? I don't know. Look, I've got pretty high hopes for Infinity Wars. I think I want them to surprise me and actually do a really good job of me to come out and be like, oh my god, I cannot wait for the second film.
The only reason I think they're going to die, and like people are always predicting this, is because of the contract ending.
Yeah, well,
Evans and
maybe they'll just finish off the Marvel universe.
No, they're going to keep going.
Why?
That's why they've got Black Panther and that being established now, because it's the next bit.
But I can't be
and like
fucked.
Guardians is now introduced.
I'm
just going to act like this is the end. And that's it.
Because I think like you should really end things. Like, I don't understand the point of keeping... The issue I have when people keep on going and pushing forward is like you kind of ruin what you had originally. It's like you can't replicate that ever again. And so trying to replicate that or trying to like start something similar to that just pisses me off because I'm like, it's not the same.
It's like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Which has never really been magnificent.
I heard it's like nothing happens and then something happens in the last 20 minutes.
So what happens in that show, it's that not how it usually, and it's not how it started, but now I think it's like around season 3 they got their formula down, because the seasons are 16 episodes long, which is too long for that sort of show in my opinion. Mostly because every fucking thing seems like the same thing happening, because they're just like, they walk very slowly through the woods or like into a house and they check all the corners and it's dark and then there's a bit of light and then suddenly
a zombie,
and then some expendable character we don't give a shit about gets eaten and everybody cries, and then blah blah blah. And that's like some of the more interesting episodes do that, but they've done it. So it's like the season will start with something that's like really big and urgent, and like something happens for like maybe 2 episodes, and it calms down, and nothing particularly interesting happens for like 5 episodes, and then it gets to like their mid-season break, and then it ramps up and leaves the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Then they go on a break for a few months, and they bring back the ending of that bit for like the next 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And there's a really boring like 5 episodes again, and then they finish off again the finale with like a big build-up, like massive thing. It's like you could cut out all those episodes in between and have a much more interesting show.
Yeah, so you just make it shorter.
But that's... people just tune in for it. I don't know whether the audience is quite as big as it used to be, but it's still big enough for them to keep making it and to have a spin-off going at the same time.
There's a spin-off?
Yeah, it's called Fear the Walking Dead.
What's that about?
It's about a group of people
so
during the zombie apocalypse surviving. Wouldn't you know it?
Oh, wow. That's like almost
It's exactly the same thing, but with different characters. That's it. And it looks like it looks worse.
Why? What the hell? Why would you do that? That's like literally, if I'm using Gossip Girl, if you had Gossip Girl and then another episode, another series called like, I don't know, XOXO, and it's about another group of people dealing with Gossip Girl, and you're like, why do I want to watch two of the same thing simultaneously?
And don't they just do that anyway? Like 90210 and lots of stuff.
They're all a little different. I haven't watched the other ones, actually. I only watched Gossip Girl because it was, like, available. And I was like, I guess I should just embrace my teenagehood and then watch... Like, no, legitimately, I could not be fucked watching it. But I was like, oh, I guess I'm a girl, so I should probably watch this. Does that sound like a little creepy? Like, I
shouldn't, like, go after my own interests. I should just watch this garbage.
It's not garbage. Hey, we watched 50 Shades, man.
I know, and that was garbage.
Yeah. Gossip Girl's fine. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's fine. It's, like, acceptable. Yeah, literally was just like, oh, I guess I'll just watch this then. That's, like, me in a lot of films, though. When I was young, I'd be like, I guess I'll watch this. I mean, everyone... Like, Angus Thongs in Perfect Snogging. I was like, everyone was like, oh, my God, it's the best film. I watch it, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cute, but this is stupid because this would never happen. And then everyone was like, don't you think it's the best film ever? And I'm like, yeah, feminism. Not feminism.
It's like, yeah, but have you seen, like, any other movie?
No. Well, I was like I was the only person who, when I watched Boy in Striped Pajamas, everyone's like, it's so sad. And I'm like, why?
I was like, it's really unrealistic and stupid.
I just thought, like, it didn't really have that much of an emotional pull. Like, and, like...
The thing is, I felt like it was, like, the Holocaust movie for people who couldn't sit through one that's actually good and really gets...
Holocaust movie that wasn't good.
No, but that's what I mean, like,
yeah.
You watch The Pianist or Schindler's List or something like that, and it's like...
Schindler's List made me cry so hard.
It's hard to get through those films because they're a slog to get through. It's like pretty depressing most of the film.
Yeah. I know, but I think
Boy in the Striped Pajamas, like, oh, it's really, it's sweet and the kids and
I think it just didn't have an emotional pull. Like, I cried so hard at Schindler's List. No, I did. I was really sad.
Because the way it's staged looks realistic.
Yeah, it's so fucking depressing. It
looks like old war footage.
Yeah.
It's black and white and, like, really grainy and...
Yeah. I was so sad. And then I watched Boy in Striped Pajamas and I'm like, I don't really care. Like, as shitty as it sounds, I know they're kids and I know they're
It looked really glossy. It felt unrealistic because I was like, how does this kid get away every day to sit by the fence?
It was too,
and nobody sees him.
It was too much of a, like, the colours and the way it was, like, made. It was too, like...
Oh, the other thing I hated,
shiny.
They were all speaking English with English accents.
Yeah, I know.
And in my mind, I don't mind if you speak English. Put on an accent. They're all supposed to be like German. No, like British, like really British accent. I was like, this is too weird to watch these like Nazis.
It's a bit too political, yeah.
So, you know, I was like, this fucking, what?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really remember the film. I like watched it, and you know what was really bad? I watched it, didn't feel anything, so I was like, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Went back and rewatched it, and I was like, maybe I'm a psychopath because I did not feel upset. Or, I mean, I was trying to feel upset because everyone was like saying they cried, everyone was like heartbroken, but I was just like, I really think this is bullshit. Like, you probably could watch way better films.
Yep.
That have a way better portrayal.
No, but like, I mean, this is the thing. Like, I don't mind people liking the film. Like, that's not a problem or anything. Like, it's fine. You can like the film. That's fine. Go for it. But like, and you know, like most people when they watch movies, they watch it and then they're done with it. It's like, move on. I like movies, so I watch more than one. Or that's fine. That's just me.
Yeah.
So the Boy in the Striped Pajamas doesn't impress me much, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Impress somebody else. It's good. It's good. It was good for them.
It was good. Was it as good for you as it was for me?
Was that movie about the Holocaust kid as good for you as
it was? Inappropriate. Yeah. I don't really care. You're right. Yeah, I don't really care about other people. I think sometimes when someone says I think someone in class when I was at uni once said I like Batman and Robin, I literally threw my pencil at him. I was like, no, you're in a film, like we're in a film class too. And I was like,
you're like, how dare you?
I was like, look, anywhere else I would have been like, fine. If my mum told me she liked Batman and Robin. No, he was like, I kind of like it. And I'm like, so I think me and another girl both like chucked something at him, just like we were just holding our stuff and we're just like, what the fuck? And then we like threw it, and then he's like, oh my god, and I'm like, why would you say that? We're in film studies here.
It's got a bad credit card.
Oh my god.
It's really terrible.
Oh my god, that's so bad. Like,
I don't know how you could like Batman Forever either.
I don't really remember. Is that one with the Riddler?
Yes.
You know why? Because I remember I watched Batman Returns by Tim Burton, and then I was like, ooh.
That would scar you for life at a certain age.
It was okay. I kind of liked it.
No, I mean, like, you feel like a really little kid. You went and saw that, you'd probably go.
I was like 10.
10's probably alright.
It's alright. It was possible.
I know that was the film that they made after the first... That Tim Burton obviously made after the first Batman film, and he, like, dialed up the darkness so much that McDonald's had a toy range ready that they stopped because the film was too, like, violent and stuff.
For kids.
Yeah, it was too much for kids.
Yeah.
So they just went, no, we're not doing that.
I think it's weird that Batman is more like associated with kids when in reality I feel like it's a very adult concept.
It started off as like a more pulpy sort of villain character almost, and they just developed the whole Bruce Wayne thing. And then it's like in the 60s it was a spoofy, silly show with Adam West, and it was kind of funny. And then eventually it got to this dark, gritty... Then you got like the dark comic book look that Tim Burton went through for. And you got the cartoons of the 90s, which are really great.
I love those, the animated series.
Yeah. And then you've got the really shitty 90s movies and the really great Nolan trilogy and whatever the fuck they're doing with him now.
I don't know.
Nobody knows exactly what they're doing over there. I feel like Disney's slowly going that way, though. Like, they've had a good run.
Yeah.
But I don't think they know what they're doing with Star Wars necessarily. Like, even, like, Last Jedi I thought was good. Han Solo doesn't look good. Rogue One doesn't impress me much.
What else is after that? What's after The Last Jedi?
Episode 9. I don't know what it's called. It's going to be directed by J.J. Abrams.
Okay.
And that's all we know about it. It's going to finish this trilogy. Which means Leia has to go.
Are they going to do another CGI of her? Yeah, me neither.
I would rather them say in dialogue that she was killed somewhere.
Like, I'd rather just be like an explosion that's like, oh, Layla was there. Fuck.
It's like, oh no, General Leia, and they have a funeral. At the end. She's done. That'd be... Like, they kind of... It's almost a shame that they kept Leia alive in The Last Jedi, because I think she had like a perfect farewell moment in the film when Luke says goodbye to her.
Yeah, I know.
Like with the dice and everything, Han's dice from the Millennium Falcon and everything like that. That was great. And I thought... And that was a moment I was like, oh, is she going to go as well?
Yeah.
Like, is she just going to be left behind? Like, she just tells them to leave and leave her there?
Like Hodor,
Hodor.
Not Hodor.
That's kind of like Hodor as well.
Is her name? Her name's not Hodor, is it?
Leia.
No, the other lady.
The other lady.
That travels through this ship.
Well, she's not called Hodor. Hodor is the big giant.
I know, what's her name? I keep thinking her name's Hodor.
I'm just trying to remember her actual name. Laura Dern is her real name. I don't know her character's name.
I swear it's Hodor.
It's not Hodor. They would not call her Hodor. They'd never get away with it.
Hang on, The Last Jedi.
Purple-haired lady who just fucks up the whole First Order fleet with her shit.
She really does. She's like, oh, fuck this shit.
Apparently, were you telling me that, like, your friend at the cinema said that they had a lot of complaints from that scene?
Oh, yeah.
Because the sound cuts out and people are like, oh, isn't there a sound problem here?
Yeah.
It's like,
because
no,
people
it's
are stupid.
It's supposed to be like that.
People are literally
dramatic.
Stupid.
It's dramatic.
Sorry,
when
everyone
you
else
see
who
it
watched the film, but you're stupid. Sorry. Not sorry.
But I don't know what else they're doing with Star Wars. There's all these rumours about like a Boba Fett movie and an Obi-Wan movie and all that sort of
I
stuff.
wouldn't mind an Obi-Wan.
I wouldn't mind an Obi-Wan movie as long as they cast Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Fuck. Words, names, can't, internet, what? Not working.
I think a Boba Fett movie would be shit.
I don't really care for Boba Fett.
Nobody really should.
No.
He's just a cool-looking character who was in two of the original trilogy movies, and he dies really quickly. And he doesn't have many lines.
Yeah, but you never know.
He looks cool, so yeah, sure.
Hang on, let me find her.
Like Captain Phasma. Snoke is bad man. He's dead now.
Holdo.
Okay, it's very close.
Holdo.
Did you say hold the door as she died? Which doesn't make any sense in their context.
No, it didn't.
Oh no, it does, because there's a big door on Crate, which is where they hide out. The big door closes and then they... Got the mini Death Star laser, which they're going to laser the door open with.
Hold the door. Anyways, I think we should wrap it up. We've been talking for how long now?
Long enough.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Okay, so 50 Shades. Back to the beginning. Crap. Not Sucks. The worst if you're a female, probably the worst if you're a guy.
Yep. Sucks.
There's something. If you're really bored with your life and you wouldn't mind seeing it, you can. You know what? I'd rather watch 50 Shades than Pirates of the Caribbean again. So that says something.
The fifth one.
Yeah.
Not the first.
No, the fifth one.
I was going to say, make sure that's clear.
Yeah.
Because I'd definitely rather watch the first one many, many more times.
I'd rather watch the last two 50 Shades of Grey films than the fifth Pirates of the Caribbean or Transformers.
I think I might be able to agree with you on Transformers, maybe not on Pirates of the Caribbean. Transformers definitely, no doubt.
Yeah. So, but that's because how low we rank it.
I can make fun of 50 Shades.
You can.
I can't concentrate enough on Transformers to be able to make fun of it because I've got a headache and
everything hurts
and everything's moving too fast. I'm like, what the fuck is going
on? It sounds like something you're like, oh, everything's too fast for me.
Sounds like I've got PTSD and I was in the war.
Yeah, too much.
It's too much.
Anyways, next fortnight we're doing Red Sparrow.
Are we?
And I'm also going to be off to Japan.
Not necessarily in the next fortnight, though. It'll probably be sometime after.
Yeah, well, the next fortnight after this episode is posted.
Yes.
So, I'm going to Japan, so maybe I'll see a Japanese film. Ren has been getting into anime. What?
Only really one particular one, which I finished.
Yeah.
I'm slightly obsessed with, so...
Yeah, well, if you watch a bit more, then we can talk about maybe a bit more. I mean, we talked about Asian film last year, but we can always
talk about anime specifically.
Yeah, if we want, because Ren actually...
And I'll go on about my love of Berserk. I've bought some of the manga.
Oh my god,
I've read the first volume.
Are those
on the second shelf, yep.
Why didn't you have number 3? You only have 1, 2, and 4.
Because they're just arriving in a weird order. So the first one arrived yesterday, and 2 and 4 arrived today. But I've ordered 3 as well.
They're like, no, you can't have 3. Anyways, yeah, so we'll do Red Sparrow, maybe do some anime, some Asian film, Japanese film. We should watch Girl Through. There's another Studio Ghibli, well, not Studio Ghibli, but because they're not producing that much film anymore, but the same guys who did Studio Ghibli films, they did another one, I think it's like The Witches.
I've got 2 bookmarked on Google Play to rent. One of them is Your Name, and the other one is A Silent Voice.
Yes, you need.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's apparently better than Your Name.
Okay.
The only thing I have to say about Your Name and possibly Silent Voice is they're both romantic-based animes, so they are, I think, catered a bit more towards girls. I'm not saying they definitely are for girls only, but like with Japanese, I think there's anime catered for women and or like females.
Just like anyway.
Well, yeah, but like some films are more ambiguous. Yeah. And, like they're for everyone. It's
you mean less... like when you told me about High School of the Dead?
Yeah, like that's...
Yep, that is tailored towards guys. And then you showed me a clip and I was like, yep, it is.
Yeah, like boobs. So, yeah, but they were so good. If you want something that's a bit more... Oh, my God, what film was it? I don't want to say The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, but that one is definitely... Cause
I have that bookmarked on anime.
That's really good. Your Name is okay. Wolf Children. I think you'd really like Wolf Children. But we'll talk about that.
Yes, we'll talk about that
later
off the thing. Okay.
Bye.